I've always felt a little bit clumsy and a little bit uncomfortable when I was in the dance floor, and now I feel that when I'm going dancing, regardless of the music, I'm always having fun. So I'm Gino, I'm from Spain. I just came to Sweden 2 years ago. Been living abroad for a long time. I work in IT. I'm a nerd. Well, I moved to Sweden for work. I've always knew that I didn't want to be in Spain, and I've been living abroad for a long time. I was in Denmark before, so the culture shock wasn't that big, but I moved for work. Well, I've been dancing, I think, a little bit over a year, and I started dancing because I used to do other activities when I was in Denmark. I used to do improv theater, but here we didn't have that group of people, so instead I decided that it was time to join a social activity that was a little bit more physical. And also, I'm from Spain, so I was always ashamed that I couldn't dance, and I thought that it was about time that I learned the basics. Probably my biggest fear when I started couple dancing is Salsa and Bachata. A lot of prejudices that we have, at least back home, about the people who join dancing. It is a little bit of, do I feel comfortable being that close to people? Will I be afraid that people think that I'm trying something? I was a little bit hesitant. I thought that maybe I should try non-couple dancing. That's why I started with reggaeton. I would say that my biggest fear was, okay, how will be the social aspect of social dancing? I joined as a leader, and of course it's always nerve-wracking because at the beginning I feel like an imposter, that I shouldn't be dancing, and I feel like I'm kind of clumsy and maybe I'm losing the followers' time. But I was really lucky at the beginner class that I joined. It was a lot about just having fun, being a little bit silly and trying out. I got hooked fairly quick, but it was a difficult first year. Now it feels way different than when I started. Some of the dances I've been doing it for several months, and I feel way more confident. And now when I come, for instance, to the Cuban salsa class, I just feel the joy of, okay, I'm learning something new and I'm just experimenting all the old things that I've learned. I feel comfortable enough to just play around with my dance partners, and it's a really energizing time for me because even if it's pretty late and sometimes I have a long day at work, every time I come, I usually come back home with a lot of energy and a lot of good vibes. Or is it word? I will consider myself primarily a salsa person. I enjoy Cuban salsa the most. I'm trying to learn a little bit of line salsa, and I'm also learning some bachata. As social dancing in Stockholm, you usually have half of the time to bachata and half of the time to salsa. So I don't want to sit out for half of the time. I hear about iDance because luckily I was living next door. So I tried other schools before. They felt a little bit too big and a little bit less personal. So when I realized that in front of my place I had schools that they were doing actually reggaeton, I decided to give it a chance, and now I'm here. I feel more comfortable in iDance because it feels a little bit kind of closer, or like a family feeling. We all know each other. We all are involved with the teachers. Usually, for me, it has the right balance between being challenging enough, but in the classes we are repeating enough, so I'm still like not feeling pressure. I've been in other classes where maybe we were repeating things a lot and I felt that I was wasting a little bit of time, or we were just rushing through a lot of content and I could not really follow. So I'm really happy with the right balance that we are finding here. The best thing for me about iDance is probably the community. I met a lot of amazing people here that has helped me a lot to broaden my social circles in Stockholm since I moved here. We have a really good vibe that most people are just coming to have fun and to enjoy, and I'm lucky to have like a lot of time spent with them outside of the dance floor. So I think I haven't found that connection with other folks on other classes. The best thing that happened to me because of dancing, it was probably finding a little bit of my crowd. Finding a crowd on a Scandinavian country is not the easiest thing when you're an expat, and I was lucky that on iDance I could find people who were like-minded, they were willing to spend time together, so I think I found my place and I found my people. That's probably the thing that I'm most grateful for. The most surprising thing that I found out was the confidence boost that I got from enjoying and starting to learn how to dance. I've always felt a little bit clumsy and a little bit uncomfortable when I was in the dance floor, and now that I train enough and I thrive enough during the classes, I feel that when I'm going dancing, regardless of the music, I'm always having fun and I'm always finding a connection with my partner. So I think that's a surprise that I wasn't expecting. I thought it would be just a hobby, but it has been a really uplifting experience. Now I really enjoy dancing. Dancing has changed my life because I've met a group of people who are really willing of trying new things and really willing to get out of their comfort zone. And that's something that I really like about myself and having this opportunity. My word of advice for someone starting to dance, especially for the leaders that are the ones that I'm closer with, to give it a go and really spend some time trying, because I think at the beginning, leading on a social dance, it can be really challenging and it can be pretty difficult to find the motivation of, okay, I'm doing this right, or I'm having fun doing this. Like for me, it took me months until I managed to really enjoy a dance and actually feel that I wasn't wasting anyone's time. If I could talk to myself before joining dancing, I will probably tell myself to don't be scared, don't be harsh with myself. My first classes, have fun doing it, because I realized that if I'm just having fun and I'm putting extra care on my dancing partner, I really realized that if I'm just having fun and I'm taking care of my dancing partner, I'm making it easier for them, an amazing experience. Even if you are clumsy, even if I was missing my steps, even if I was getting lost, it was still a super enjoyable experience of just being goofy and playing around with someone and finding a new hobby. Being an expat, it's really easy to take the classes if they are in English. There are some other schools that usually prefer Swedish-speaking classes, which makes sense, we're in Sweden. But for me, it makes a huge difference if I can communicate easily with the teacher, so everything is English by default. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of expats also joining these classes. Really recommend iDance to anyone who's starting dancing here in Stockholm. I think if you are close by, or if you are looking for a place that feels like a family where you can start, there are plenty of new classes, and I haven't heard of many people who started and actually they didn't feel comfortable or they wanted to drop off. Like all the people that I know that started with me, we are still here. So you might say something about it.